Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And a very pleasant good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the hottest spot in town. This is Sunshine's Corner. And of course, we've got a fantastic show as always. Always keeping that information coming out for you. I want you to be a part of this conversation today. As always, I open the door. So if there are things that you are not aware of, here's where you can find out what's happening. And this young man that I have invited back, I tell you, I fell in love with him last year when I first met him because he has such a great passion for our youth. And I'm talking about himself, Mr. Abraham Sculley.
Ma'am, sunshine. It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. There you go. Good morning, Abraham. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful. And you know, that was just a part of what I wanted to say because I've been following you. And with the fact what you're doing with the youth here in our community, you need all the applause in the world. I mean, come on.
I appreciate it.
It is absolutely great. And to see that passion is growing higher and higher and stronger every day. You know, I think that's beautiful. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to allow Abraham to talk just a little bit about himself and to refresh your memory to see just some of the things he has going on that he has built from the ground.
Yeah.
And bringing it all the way up.
Yeah. So just a little bit about myself. I grew up in Miami, but I've been here in Pensacola for 10 years now.
Right.
And I attended University of West Florida, where I got my degree in psychology. And my experience in psychology really just started from my own personal experience dealing with depression as a college freshman. So I had no idea what mental health was, no idea what depression was. But when I had my personal experience, it opened me up to a whole new world and reality that we all go through things.
Exactly.
So from there, I just became so committed to learning why is it that I got depressed, how did I get depressed, and how can I get out of it? And from that desire, it kind of led me to wanting to help other people. So fast forward years later, I ended up starting a nonprofit organization called Storytelling Solutions of America. And we're very excited to be the launching pad for youth here in our community, teaching them to share their stories and how to access mental health care. And our goal really is to make mental health resources accessible for all youth. Because there are resources there, but if there's so much stigma around it, our young people will not utilize the resources. So we have our monthly program, It's Okay to Not Be Okay, and we have our annual Youth Mental Health Summit, which we're excited for our second annual this year. And hopefully we'll have Miss Sunshine back again in Sunshine's Corner. Everyone loved you, Sunshine. But that's what we're doing in our community, and we want to continue to make the resources accessible and make sure that people know that you don't have to wait until you're in crisis to reach out for help.
And my mind is rolling as I hear you speak when you found out what you were dealing with and how you wanted to have it that people, sometimes I think maybe, is it the parents sometimes need to know as well so they'll be able to help the children?
Yeah, so that's a lot of what we teach and talk about in our programming, it starts at home. So we can only do so much as outsiders with our youth, and our goal is really to bring the families together. Because if we're sharing this information about it's important to take care of your mental health, it's important to seek therapy or counseling if you need it, it's important to heal, it's important to deal with your trauma, but then they go back to homes where all of these things are not communicated or appreciated, then we're just in this cycle of
and it keeps going and going, the same thing. What is it? You keep doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome?
Yeah, insanity.
That's insanity.
Insanity. So it definitely has to do with our parents. It has to do with those who are leaders and in influential positions, because when young people see older people taking care of themselves and prioritizing things, it trickles down.
Let me ask you a question. Is it possible that sometimes a parent maybe think that there's something wrong if they don't know that it's okay not to be okay? Then they will think, oh, well, you're not going to call my child crazy, or my child is not crazy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
It's that stigma?
It's the stigma. And sometimes it's important to admit that we're not okay.
Exactly.
And we have such a fear of not being okay that anytime we think that someone thinks that we are in a position where we're not preppy, where we're not happy, where we're not excited, where we're not motivated, that's a bad thing. But that's actually human, the human experience. A part of the human experience is we have ups, we have downs.
Always.
We're sad, we're happy. And if we're forcing people to only be happy, we're not allowing them to experience the full experience of life.
You know, sometimes, because I can say this because I have a friend that years and years ago, but she suffered with manic depression. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And I saw this with this. And it, at first she did not want to deal with the fact that, and it had trickled down. It's really, now her son has it. Same thing. And I saw this trend of spending. Boy, nothing was, I go out and just spend. That's, girl, you gonna spend that kind of money? I mean, but that's a part of that until you get the medication.
Yep.
Until you get the medication. One day you're up like this and the next day you're.
Yep.
You know, and I'll even say this, and we're gonna be real, because these are things that I saw, and I think that we can combat some of these things if we get it started early to get the parents, the kids to understand that it's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
You know, because what I saw with her, even there were trends that she would go to, and I've got to say this, there was a sexual thing. At a high, that's all she talked about. It messed up her marriage.
I believe it.
Okay, it tore the marriage to pieces. And I'm bringing all this out because it's okay to talk about these things.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, and I don't know if it's in your bloodline or if it's something if it's in a family or, I know I go through depression.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I mean, some nights I can't sleep. I'm up. I'm thinking of things. I know what it is that I've got to do, and but it's okay. I'm not embarrassed to say that I go through that.
Yeah, and that's huge, Sonshine, because there's a lot of people that watch you. There's a lot of people who are influenced by you, and just by you saying that right now, they feel like empowered to now admit that they may not be okay.
Exactly.
And if they're not okay, then they can do something about it.
Do something about it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about these young people. Do something about it, because I honestly believe that some of the things that we deal with when you see with the youth, I think they're crying out.
Yeah.
The things to how they react when they don't know how to react.
Yeah.
I think they're crying out, and it causes them to do other things. I could be wrong. Like I said, I didn't go to school for this.
Yeah.
This is just a mother. You know what I'm saying? But with what you're doing, and I want the parents to feel good, to reach out and talk to Abraham, because he's got a great program. I ran into you girls this weekend.
They're doing big things.
They're doing
graduating,
big things. Yes.
speaking.
Yes.
Yeah, doing things.
And I remember when I first met them. I mean, shy at first, but they warmed up to me. And I mean, I walked past, oh, Sonshine, hey. But the fact of it is, what you have is so valuable in our community. We need that. And I want the parents to make sure. Now, when is your next event? Well, let's talk about the youth mental health. Okay, mental health is a huge topic now.
Yes.
These are things that I wrote down last night, so I wouldn't have the wrong question. Especially for the youth. What are some of the warning signs that parents can look for?
Yeah, so right now, I would say summertime, because we're in summertime.
Right.
If you have a child that is more extroverted, likes to be around people, likes to interact with others, and you find that they're withdrawing, they're isolating themselves, they're staying in the rooms, they're on the video games, they are distracting themselves by themselves, and that's a warning sign.
Okay.
Right? Because when we think about depression, sometimes we think it only has one way of expressing itself,
like this,
but for everyone it's different.
Yeah.
And just like the person who is more outgoing, if there is someone who is more introverted, more internal, and you find them doing the quite opposite of that's also a warning sign. So it all depends on who the individual is, which is why it's very important to have relationship with your children and observe how they respond, observe how they react to certain things, so that you can ask questions. Because a simple question to that is, I noticed that you've been in your room a lot lately. Is everything okay? Is there anything you want to talk about?
Right.
And when they see that you're observing and paying attention, that means the world to a lot of young people who feel like they're alone.
Really? You see what I'm saying? What you've learned and how you applying it? Ladies and gentlemen, come on, let's do that. Abraham has such a connection. He's an advocate, should I say, for the kids in the community. And can you share a success story of some of the kids that, these young people, some of the things, the tools that you have used to help them through? And just to talk about, to let parents know, I like to see, to let them know that there is help. But you got to take that step to get it.
Yeah, so a couple of success stories. So we have our monthly program called It's Okay to Not Be Okay.
Right.
That happens every single month, the third Monday of every month at Zion Hope Church.
Right.
Shout out to Pastor Brandon Mason and the
Hi,
whole
Pastor
Zion Hope community. We're very grateful for them to allow us to host our event there. But there are young people and families who have never been exposed to therapy before, who have never been exposed to counseling. They thought that was only for those types of people, whoever those people are.
That's what I'm talking about, right.
And then they come to our program and they realize, I think I may need some help. And for the very first time in their lives, they're now meeting with a therapist, going to support groups, taking care of their mental health. And what that does for a child when they see their mother taking care of themselves, the child now sees, I am important enough to take care of me as well. So that's one thing that we see very often every month, where people are saying, wow, I didn't know I could talk to my kids about my own mental health. I didn't know I can open up about these things or even ask them questions, because where might it go if I ask the wrong question or even the right question? Right. And what do I do at that point? So we see that very often. And then with the example that you shared, meeting the girls the other day, these young ladies, they started in our public speaking course. And I remember asking one of them, why are you doing this? Because you seem very shy. You don't seem like someone who would be open and outgoing and things like that. And she said, I want to share my story because hopefully it can help one of my friends or one of my family members.
Oh, wow.
And I said, so you're going to go through, the fear of speaking in public for the purpose of helping someone else? And she was like, yeah. And she went through the process. She did the work that was necessary for her to excel in the course. And she spoke in front of over 100 of her peers last year.
Exactly, she sure did.
And for many of her peers, they mentioned that was their favorite session throughout the entire summit. So we're getting to hear these stories, and it's inspiring. It's what keeps me going and keeps me continuing to do the work, because it's working.
Exactly. And I got to say this to you, Abraham. You are a fantastic, when it comes to speaking.
Oh, thank you.
You're a fantastic speaker.
Thank you.
I mean, you can reach. And the way you deliver is so captivating for the kids, I think, to see that. And that also, with you being a young person, and they see that I can do this too.
Yeah.
That sets a level of what they can put their heights to, not just settle. That I can grow. And then you're a college graduate. I mean, come on, man. You know it. Smile.
They can do it.
They can do it. They can do it too. And that's a great thing. Now, I noticed last year out for Juneteenth, you were out everywhere. You're going to be out in these things this year?
Yes, I will be. And continuing to promote the work we're doing around youth mental health, continuing to promote the summit that we have coming up. But we'll be out and about. They'll see the SSA or the storytelling T-shirts out and about. So we're excited about that.
What's your purpose? Do you think this is your purpose in life?
Yeah, I think this is a calling for me, because I didn't want to do this, the work that I'm doing, and I didn't plan to do it. And I think when you don't plan to do something and you end up doing it well, and you're gifted by God to do these things, I think it's greater than just a profession. I think it's a calling for me. And I've tried to run away from it multiple times, and I can't, because it's a lot of work.
Yes, it's
a lot of work.
It is. And dealing with a lot of personalities.
And all of that. But with trying to run from it multiple times, it
Can't
keeps
do it.
coming back.
So that's got to be for you to do.
Yeah, this is a call.
Well, the way you handle it, you can tell that what you're doing, there's a care right here in your heart for these young people and for the parents. So when I had the opportunity, I'll say this, when I met your mother,
Oh, yeah.
when I met your parents,
Yeah.
the joy that I could see, the proud for what you're doing to help somebody else. Don't you know that?
Yeah.
Look at that smile on your face.
Yeah. I love my parents.
Of
Yeah.
course you do.
I'm
And I
glad you
mean,
got to meet
and
them.
they are so, you can just see it in their faces, how proud they are of you with what you're doing and accomplishing with youth and giving back. When you come back, when you say that you had to realize that what you were going through with depression, with some of the things that I think that some people deal with now, I believe that they are, oh God, I don't want to say anything that sounds harsh and cold, but sometimes you just got to bring it out there because I see so many kids that standing, don't know what to do, and I believe that they don't have that urge at home to get them out to try something different. What you're doing is such a comfortable atmosphere, and the people that are working with you, Michelle and all of that, you know what I'm saying? All these guys that I know that are doing great things. When you come together with that, how do you select these great people to culminate with you to make all of this stuff great?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is instinct, intuition, because when you're doing this work, it really is difficult work, but it's heart work. And you have to have the heart, the passion for seeing people heal and grow.
Right.
So there's a lot of observation that I need to do, paying attention to people in many different circumstances, situations.
Exactly.
And giving certain opportunities and seeing how people respond to certain opportunities. But a lot of it is like attracts like. So when certain people who see the mission, see the vision, and they believe in it, it's almost like a seamless integration of what we're doing together. So Michelle, that's one example. She came to one of our monthly events, and she hasn't missed an event for about a year now.
I tell you, I mean, she is.
And it's because she's on her own journey.
Exactly.
And a lot of the people that you find that are amongst our team, we're all on our own journey. We're all healing. So we understand the process and we understand what it takes. And when we take our personal experience and match it with helping someone else,
there's nothing to match it.
Yeah,
There's
it's
nothing to match it.
unstoppable at that
Exactly, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with the Abraham Sculley, and we're talking about the fact that what he has put together and all of the community coming together for our children. We're going to talk more about mental health, but there's a question I have. I want to talk about that I found out that fits me.
Okay.
When we come back right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
At Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, We believe every child should have a safe place to grow. That's why we work with you and the community to build not just a house, but a home.
She worked very hard to get this house. I really appreciate that because, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now.
When you help build a home, you build a future. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
And welcome back to this Thursday edition of Sunshine's Corner. We are talking with Mr. Abraham Sculley. Mental health, children, family, coming together, making a difference.
That's right.
When it comes to something I found out that's real, broken heart syndrome deals with mental health. All of this lines up from the study that I've been doing. And sometimes Michelle was the one who introduced that to me to break it down. I was listening to her one day on Snapchat.
Okay.
She does a live when she visits her therapist. She comes back and she'll give you a little synopsis of what happened, of how to handle things.
I like that.
And then she would come back and she was talking about broken heart syndrome, the steps that you go through, that a lot of people are dealing with that and don't know that they're dealing with broken heart syndrome. And that is deadly. I did not realize that, because some of the things that she was showing, I encourage anybody, if you haven't heard about it, look it up. Just Google broken heart syndrome. And I say that when I want to bring that back to the children. There are things like when the parents are, maybe separated, and sometimes kids may think that they're the reason why that this happened that way, which is not so. I'll say this too. When you get a divorce, you don't divorce the children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You may not be together, but that does not do it to the children, but it affects children. Do you have kids like that who go through things like that and do not know how to take that step forward?
Yeah, I was one of them.
Oh.
So, and here's the thing, when parents divorce, it's a decision that they make from as far as their relationship.
Exactly.
It's not, like you said, they're not divorcing the children, but it's hard for a child to make sense of that in the moment of the divorce happening.
Exactly.
And that was my story. And I remember when my parents divorced,
Right.
I thought it was my fault. I thought it had everything to do with me. Because when you're a child, you're the center of your world.
Certainly.
Yeah, you're the center of your world. So everything that happens externally is your fault or you're a part of it, when in reality, that's not the case. And it took years for me and a lot of therapy for me to realize that what my parents
That's right.
did had
that was their
nothing
decision.
to do with me. So when we work with a lot of young people who experience that as well, it's helping them to realize that there's separation between them and other people. And you probably heard this: control what you can control, right?
Exactly.
So when you control what you can control, it requires you to recognize what are the things that are inside of your control and what are the things that are outside of your control. And oftentimes when young people focus on the things that are outside of their control and they're trying to control those things,
Right.
it leads to things like depression. It leads to things like anxiety. It leads to manic depression, like you mentioned. It leads to desperation and hopelessness. But when you can tell the young person, hey, what are the things that are inside of your control? What are the things, can you control how you respond to this situation?
Right.
Yes, you can. Let's focus on that.
Exactly.
Not let's focus on your parents' divorce, because that's outside of your control. You
Can't do
can't
anything
change
about
that,
it.
right? And that's how we, work with our young people. That's what we try to help them to focus on, is there are things that you can do and there are things that you can't do. And when you can release the things that you can't do, it gives you peace about the situation and it empowers you to do the things that you can do.
Absolutely. Have you had any experiences where the children, sometimes in divorces where you see when the parents do go their separate ways? And I'm not saying that you're a divorce, you're not a therapist going and say, look, father, you got to do this, dad, you got to do that.
Yeah.
But the fact of it is, sometimes there's a separation, whereas the child feels like, okay, if daddy says he's going to pick me up or whatever and daddy doesn't, that causes the child to revert back even further, because that child is yet thinking, okay, then it's my fault because daddy won't do what he says he's going to do. May not be daddy, might be mama.
Yeah.
But the fact of it is, and I'm saying all of this, parents, because we have to realize, even though when we make those decisions in our lives, that there are some little people that's involved in this. So let's keep them in the conversation. Say, it's not because of you. But even though that will take them to another level of thinking, okay, how can I get this to happen? I almost said something, I won't say it. But it's the fact that it does happen. Now, with the summit that you have coming up, what's the dates?
July 18th.
Okay.
2025.
July 18th. Now, how can people get involved? What do you need?
Yeah, so right now, if young people would like to register, registration is open. They'll just visit ssaSummit.org. That's SUMMIT.org.
Right.
And you can just register right now. It's free. There is food, there's games, there's workshops. This year's theme is heal. And we've noticed heal. And we've noticed, right? We've noticed that when we talk about mental health, there is a spiritual component to mental health, and we can't help individuals fully without acknowledging the spiritual component of mental health. Amen. And so this year we're going to have a couple worship services as well.
Come on now.
This year we're also going to introduce young people to what it means to have a relationship with their Creator, with God, and also with their peers. But we're doing it in a way that allows them to see that we can normalize these conversations. So mental health and physical activity. How can you work out for your mental health, right? How can you create music for your mental health? How can you dance for your mental health? So we're introducing them to creative ways. Now, when it comes to things that we need currently, we just opened up the vendor registrations.
Okay.
So we want as many community resources, programs that exist to sign up as vendors, because we're expecting just about 200 young people on this day. And we need them to be exposed to different resources that exist that they wouldn't otherwise know exist. And vendors can register at ssasummit.org as well. And we're also looking for sponsors. So individuals that believe in the mission, maybe have attended or heard about the summit last year, and they see the impact that it's making in our community. The only way we can make these events free and everything free for our young people is through money. Somebody got to pay something.
Amen. Because everything you want, you can't do it. It's not, because that's it. What's this on the screen? Right? It's okay not to be okay.
It's okay not to be okay. Yep.
That's June. Well, that's
This is June 16th. This is coming up this month, June 16th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is our monthly program at Zion Hope Church. And this is also free to the entire community. This event is actually open to families, not just the young people. So parents, grandparents, babies, the youth. This is free food as well. Giveaways. We have a ton of sponsors that ensure that we can keep this going every month.
Of course. And I'm so glad to hear you say you're talking about with the spiritual part, because I believe that component right there, you got that in front, you got it.
Yeah.
Because he's going to help you and guide you through this, because the help that is needed. I think he places different gifts in everybody so that he can connect the dots. Okay, Lord. You know what I mean? So that we can make this happen. And when I see all that you're doing with it, it's absolutely amazing. And when you brought up the point that you talked to the children about the relationship that they should have with our Maker, do you run into, you know how some people may think, how do you handle it?
Yeah, so that's evident. That's going to happen.
Right.
And some people may feel offended by it. Some people may distance themselves by it. And that's a personal decision that they will make. But what I found in my own experience doing this work for over 9 years now is...
How old were you, 10?
Right? I'm actually 30 this year.
Oh, get out of here.
I'm grown, Sonshine.
You're a grown man now.
But what I found is that when I learned about psychology and mental health, we didn't learn necessarily about the spiritual component that it plays in our mental health. And no bashing any type of modality or framework in supporting others. But I found that it's putting a Band-Aid when we do our best to treat mental health, mental illness without focusing on the spiritual component.
Right.
We're putting band-aids on issues that really needs to be uprooted and really needs to be healed.
I agree.
And so when we talk about the one who created us and who knows us better than we know ourselves, and the relationship, the alignment that we can have with our Creator, then it goes deeper than, hey, I think it's a good idea for you to have a therapist. Right? Because that's a great thing, right?
Absolutely.
And I can pray and have a therapist.
Come
I can
on
pray
now.
with my therapist.
Exactly.
Right? But that's kind of how we deal with it. It's gonna happen. People are not gonna like it.
Right.
And we just keep it moving because ultimately our goal is to help people heal.
Right.
And we
every
can't-
time you say heal, I go, heal.
Yeah. and it requires that we approach it a specific way. And
Absolutely.
we can't do that without our Creator.
And the beautiful part about that, I think, is when you include him, he's gonna get you through it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He made a promise there. He's gonna take you right
Yeah.
through it. And I think also parents, I want them to be able to feel okay to not hold the child back for what you may think as a person.
That's a good point.
Don't hold that child because you think this. Don't do that. Allow that child wings to let him or her fly, but find out ways to fly successfully.
Yeah.
To release some of the weights that they're carrying on them as young people, because I think today's youth, oh God, when I grew up yesterday, it was so different. You know what I'm saying? It was so different. The ways that they handle things were so different. Even though you're the big old 30, I mean, you know,
big old 30.
but the ways that I was brought up, and I strongly believe some of those things, if we would institute them back in the foundation, it would cause it to be more, you know.
I agree.
Oh, that's right, because I met your mom and dad.
Yeah, you met my mom and daddy. Yeah, I agree.
I agree, because that's so important. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to be a part of this conversation, 850-432-7768, you can call or text. Get your children involved. School is out. Do not allow those idle minds, because the idle mind will do what? Cause some things to happen.
Yeah.
So get them involved with Abraham. Get them involved with things that's going to be beneficial for them. Don't just hold them at home and say, sit down and watch TV. Get that phone out your face and do that. No. Find out things to keep that activity level going. You know, and that will be better off for them. Abraham, I just tell you, I could talk to you all day. We got to go to break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking more about the summit that's coming up. What are your plans for the kids? All of the things that you're doing, and let's make long-term plans to keep them involved with you. You right here on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in Racing Blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if auto owners make sense for you.
Keep going. More. No, stop!
Come see us at Royal Appliance Outlet. We have refrigerators, washers and dryers, stoves, beautiful furniture from all of your name brands that you know and trust. Samsung, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, and GE, all at discount prices. Come visit us today at 1612 Face Boulevard. You're gonna love our easy credit to help you bring all of your favorite furniture home. Come visit Royal Appliance Outlet.
It's baseball season. From heart-stopping plays to legendary victories, this is baseball at its finest. Grab your seat, bring your energy, and witness greatness live. Don't just watch it, feel it. The Pensacola Blue Wahoos are back, and you can watch Pensacola Blue Wahoos home games live on Fridays and Saturdays, only on Blab TV. Love the Blue Wahoos but can't watch? Get your tickets now.
The Emerald Coast Utilities Authority's state-of-the-art materials recycling facility processes recyclables for communities throughout the region, lowering need for more landfills. This highly efficient recycling service accepts glass, paper, cardboard, plastics, aluminum, and more. But we need your help. Please make sure your recyclables are clean of garbage, food, and liquids. Also, please remember that plastic shopping bags, foam products, or yard waste are not recyclable. To learn more, go to livegreenecua.com.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner on this beautiful Thursday. Mr. Abraham Sculley, great big old 30, you know. He's I just love hearing this. I'm 31. But listen at this. Brother Abraham, we were talking about the spiritual part of what you do. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, this is a question I already had down to ask you. What role does faith, community, self-awareness play in being a strong leader today, such as yourself? And we were talking off camera,
thank you,
how it is important that we hold that spiritual part into it. Mm-hmm. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, so for me, it's understanding that I was created. I didn't make myself. There's a lot of people, a lot of times we hear self-made this and self-made that, and I think I understand what they mean by that, mm-hmm. but the reality is I didn't wake myself up this morning.
Come on now.
I couldn't have. I didn't even know what went on last night when I was asleep. And it has everything to do with I was created and I was uniquely designed. I was given gifts. There are things that I do today, Sunshine, that I don't know how I learned how to do it.
Exactly.
And it's because I didn't learn how to do it. It was gift that was given to me. And when I realized that that is my reality, I have to give honor.
Well, honor is due.
Yeah, where honor is due. It's like when we're in situations, if the president, enters a room, mm-hmm. there's a certain way that you respond.
Exactly.
Right? When the CEO mm-hmm. of a large corporation enters the room, there's a certain way that you respond. And when I think about the creator of all things, the King of Kings, it's like, you have to respond in a certain way. So for me, faith has everything to do with what I do and who I am. And the moment faith no longer plays a role,
say it.
I'm no longer influential. I'm no longer effective.
Absolutely.
I'm no longer able to empower others because I'm relying on my own strength.
Absolutely. Faith without works is
dead. It's dead.
It is dead.
It's dead.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Yeah. And Sunshine, that was actually a scripture that helped me through my mental health, because when I was struggling with depression as a college freshman and I was really going through, I had some really dark days. I did not seek help because I thought it meant I didn't have enough faith.
Oh.
And then I read the scripture that said faith without works is dead. So then I started to ask myself, if faith without works is dead, what is the work that I need to do for my mental health?
Come on now.
Because faith tells me that I'm going to get better. Mm-hmm. But it's not a magic trick. It's not a genie in the bottle.
No,
it is, I need to have faith knowing that I will get well, but there's tangible things that I can do, like seeing a therapist, like journaling.
He has it all right there for us.
Exactly.
But we
talking
just gotta
to the
use
people
it.
who he put into my life.
Exactly,
right? And
no
these
doubt.
are all the things that I need to do. And just like you said, faith without works is dead.
It's totally dead.
It's dead.
Absolutely. We've got a caller. I want to talk to you about something. Good morning.
Good morning, Sonshine. Good morning, Abraham. How y'all doing today?
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
I wanted to call and say, I remember Abraham being on here last year promoting this youth summit workshop. And I cannot believe that it's already been a year, because it just seemed like it was just not that long ago that he was on here supporting this mental health workshop. And I want to let him know that I am going to send this flyer out to every one of my foster families, and I'm going to submit it over to some of the other agencies as well, because we're, since school been out, we have been receiving tons of children and from all types of areas, from domestic violence in the home, homelessness, substance abuse issues within the families. I mean, you can just name it. I mean, just the other day, I had 11 children come through. The day before that, I had 7. That last Friday was like 16 children. It's so many of them coming in now that school is out.
When you say coming in, When you say coming in,
coming into care, into the foster care system, because they just recently got removed from their biological family.
Oh my God.
And that's trauma. So each one of these children that's getting removed from their family is going through trauma from the dysfunction that was already going on in the home. Now they removed from the home, from the environments that they was living in, from the people that looked like them, the people that they know. They're in a new community. Everything is new to them. And so all this trauma is on top of trauma, on top of trauma, on top of trauma. And so they need these mental health counselors to be available for them so they can go ahead and get some treatment. And this type of workshop would be very good for these kids to kind of already get a step ahead into that.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank Mr. Abraham for having this avenue that can going to educate everybody on signs to look for, on how to limit the impact that it has that's especially negative on their lives.
I tell you, Abraham, what you're doing is great work. I mean,
Thank you.
And also, I didn't realize kids get removed like that. And then so that's trauma right there for the child.
Yeah, it is.
And we appreciate that because I know Abraham's going to continue to do his great thing, no doubt in my mind.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, and keep doing your great work.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
Deserve all the flowers now because you're bringing in a positive impact on the community because mental health is so big right now.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. All righty. Thank you, love.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. But look at that, Abraham. When it comes to things like that, it's when we talk about faith, as he was talking. I mean, faith. I can't with myself. It's just I couldn't operate without him.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten this so where when I walk up, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Okay, Lord, how should I handle this? Talk to me, Jesus. Do you hear me? That's how I talk to him.
Yeah.
And with you doing that to reach the kids and the trauma that kids go through with things like that, on top of everything else, that's got to be astronomical with the number. If this was just last week, how much is that happening every day? And it's summertime.
Yeah. And this is a critical time during the summertime for us to be even more intentional about helping our youth, because a lot of our youth depend on cafeteria lunch for food.
Oh, wow.
A lot of our youth depend on their friends and teachers for relationships. And during summertime, they don't have relationships, right? During summertime, they don't have food. They don't have interactions that help them grow in ways that they need to grow. So I think, when we think about trauma, the worst thing that we can do is push it under a rug and act as if it's not happening.
And I think that happens. I'm just going to be real. I honestly believe that happens. Oh, they'll be all right.
Yeah.
No, come out, like, get out yourself. You know what I'm saying? I can hear that.
Or act like it's not as serious as it is.
Exactly. But we got to realize to tap into the most powerful source there is.
Yes.
And when you tap into him, he's going to do what it takes to get you going to reach what he has you planned to do anyway.
Exactly. And he'll show us who he's putting in our lives.
Yes.
He'll show us who the therapist will be. He'll show us who the friend needs to be that we need to be honest, open, and transparent with. He'll reveal these things to us, but we have to connect to the source.
No doubt about it. Somebody else has another question. Want to be a part of the conversation. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. Good morning, Brother Abraham.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've heard many testimonies, but yours was one of the most sincerely thoughtful testimonies that was full of wisdom and knowledge of who you really are as a 30-year-old young man.
Almost
in a position of leadership, brother.
That's right.
And you're moving the people of Pensacola towards a positive common good. And when you do that, just like you say, you have talents that you didn't know that you had, because once you got in the position of working for the Lord, he starts working for you.
Yes.
And before you knew it, you were gifted with something that you had no study on. It was just given to you.
Amen.
That's the way some people are in music when they sing, and all the gifts that we have to understand what as the word says, we render unto Caesar what's Caesar, and give God what's His.
That's right.
And you all are talking about faith and sunshine. I'm going to leave you real quick with
Take
the
your
word
time.
faith.
Take your time.
Faith is spelled F-A-I-T-H. That's forsaking all of y'all. I'm trusting Him.
Oh, I love that acronym.
Because in our vernacular, all of y'all is just one word. Supernatural blessings on you, Brother Abraham.
God bless you.
Thank you. I mean, but you see now by the conversation, even with the people that are calling, people are viewing, they are watching, they are listening. And when you gave that, I thought that was one of the greater accolades you could ever get when he told you about how you told your testimony. How authentic it is. And what God is doing through you, what you thought you couldn't do, or should I, but look at Him taking you all the way. Come on, somebody.
Amen.
I mean, that's just fantastic itself. And that's why I know that what you're doing, you're supposed to be doing it. And continue to do it. Now, I want everybody who's watching today, please, if you know of a child, if you got a child, if you even think, like he said, well, Bob, you didn't do it like that yesterday. Are you okay? Come on, Susie, did you do that right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Be able to talk to our children and do not allow them to bypass on something that's going to help them.
Yeah.
Here's something that He's got you that you can bring the kids out to the summit. Get involved. There are going to be people, there are going to be programs that you can talk to. There's going to be worship service. Come on now.
Yeah.
Praise.
I can't wait.
That's going to be some praising up in there.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's going to be great. We're going to talk about that more and how you can be a part when we return right here on Sunshine's Corner.
I'm Emily Echeverria, Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. Watch our show to find out what we're doing for our seniors and their families, and hear from area experts and local business owners about their programs and services. Want to help? Find out how you can work with us to bring a better future to our seniors. Watch Coming of Age, 3:30 p.m. Wednesdays, only on Blab TV.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. We love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner. We're talking with Abraham, and Abraham is really laughing because of the fact that I told him how I talked with Jesus. I said, okay, now, Lord, do you hear me? Did you hear me, Lord? Okay, if I want to, and see, that's a fact, but we want to get young people to understand, to develop that relationship with Him and be able to talk to Him. And believe me, when you learn how to hear Him, He's not going to come in you an audible voice and say, hello, Abraham, this is me. Abraham, it is I, Jesus, talking to you. No. I mean, but He has Jesus has a sense of humor. He can talk to you, but you've got to be able to understand how you can connect into the most powerful resource there ever was or there ever will be. And with your teaching the kids in this summit that you're going to have praise and worship,
Yeah.
he said, oh, Lord, come into my course with thanksgiving. You're doing that.
Yeah.
You're doing that. And I mean, how the kids receive? Are they happy to get out there to know that they can get that relationship and just, hallelujah?
I hope so. I hope. And here's the thing. Sometimes you don't know what you need until you receive it.
Come on. Say that again.
You don't know what you need until you receive it. So, for example, and it goes back to when I was extremely depressed, and I had a friend of mine who recognized the signs. She recognized that I was isolating myself, that I wasn't my happy self, that I was, not hanging out with people. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. She noticed these things, and she reached out to me. And when she reached out, I tried to hide behind the mask that everything was okay.
And you done that.
And she finally got me to open up, and I told her all of what I was experiencing. But what I didn't know that I needed was that honest conversation. And it wasn't until I had the honest conversation that I realized this is what I needed this entire time. And I like to tell people, sometimes you have to believe in the belief that others have in you until you build that belief in yourself.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you don't know who you are, the power that's within you, until someone shows you yourself and says, this is who you are.
Exactly.
Right? And then you can walk in that. And that's what we're hoping to do at the summit, is show you who you are, right? Show you that all the negative words, phrases that people have said to you, that they called you, that you're worthless, that you are meaningless, that you're fat, that you're ugly, that you're this. None of that defines who you are.
Absolutely.
Right? This is who you are.
Absolutely.
I'm showing you who you are.
That friend to you, Abraham, see, that was a friend. A friend will tell you the truth.
No matter how you feel.
No matter how you feel.
It was a tough conversation.
Right, but that friend loved you enough to tell you the truth. Don't tell me what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Tell me what I need to know.
Yeah, ooh.
Because she called it out. I don't know what was a she, but I said she.
Yeah,
but
it was she.
It was a she. But she loved you enough to tell you because she noticed the things that was happening to you. I believe strongly right now, if we could have that conversation with a lot of the younger people, even the grown folk, if we could be open and honest, okay now, John.
Yeah.
Now, look, I care about you. But this is what's happening. This is who you. This is what you're portraying. This is this.
Why is it that you think we don't have more of those conversations, Sonshine?
Because
if we see it
every day, I believe. Don't get me started.
Oh, get started.
No, I believe because people want to be a people pleaser. Okay, if I can try to please everybody around me by saying, okay, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, no, that, yeah, but you're knowing what you see is not what you're saying. So, but you're not going to say that I'm going to be that. I believe it's all about being a people pleaser and not being the pleaser of the one who says, tell it like it is. I'm just breaking it down.
Yeah, I love that.
Tell it like it is. How can I help you if I'm going to lie to you? How can I help you if I'm going to put icing on what you're saying when I know it's not true? I'm not helping you. I'm holding you back.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're not going to develop that relationship that you need to have with the Father because He says that He gives us, He allows us to call Him Abba Father.
Yeah.
So I always look at it like this. You want to please your earthly father. What about pleasing your Father? If you don't want to disappoint your earthly father and you disappointing your Father, but your earthly father can't save you. Your earthly father can only take you to a point, but what about the Father? And if people would get over that of trying to be a people pleaser and tell the truth, I think this world will be a better place. I know King Walker saying, oh no, son, but King Walker, I believe that.
That's powerful.
I really believe that because you see people, sometimes notice the people that you're around that just may be in passing. I can barely hear you. That it's like that they are pleased, they're saying what they think that you want to hear instead of saying something that's going to better you to move to the next level.
Yeah.
That's just it in a nutshell.
That's powerful. There's an acronym that I use, and I actually wrote about it also. It's called being hot. being honest, open, and transparent.
Come on now.
And when we allow ourselves to be hot with other people, that's when we build meaningful relationships.
Yes. I like to say it again. Relationships. Exactly.
And we can't build relationships without being honest, open, and transparent.
Exactly.
And that requires for me to be honest, open, and transparent, and for the other person that I'm speaking with to be in a position to receive what I'm saying.
Exactly.
A lot of times we share what we're really going through, and then someone crashes it, or they're like, nah, it's not that serious, or you don't need to respond that way. What does that do to the relationship, right? And so it requires both people to be in a position of both speaking what's true, but also being receptive of what the other person is doing. And that's a lot of work, especially when we're in this microwave society and things are quick. And when we say, how you doing, we're not really asking how you doing. We just want a, courtesy response.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
And you're not fine.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So it requires a lot of work and intentionality, but I love how you put it, Sonshine. People pleasing. That's a whole subject by itself. And it's something that we need to really deal with, because if we're pleasing people and we're suffering inside, what are we really doing?
You're not doing it justice, not at all. We've got less than about a minute.
Yeah.
Tell them how they can get in touch with you to be a part of the summit.
Yes, so the Youth Mental Health Summit is July 18th. If you go to SSASummit, SUMMIT.org, you can register. It's free for teens 13 to 18 years old. We're looking for vendors to share their resources at the summit. We're looking for sponsors to support this mission and this vision. And we're expecting about 200 young people to come together to learn about mental health in a safe environment.
Exactly.
Last year, we had some young people who, for the first time in their lives, spoke to a therapist.
Exactly.
And they had never spoken to one before. So we're going to have a team of therapists who are on site helping young people if they need that support. And it's going to be a great time.
It's going to be a great time. I tell you, everybody, go to our Facebook page, go to his Facebook page. You'll see it. If you need more information, call me. I will connect you. Gotta go, but I'll leave it as I do every day. Never lose your focus. Always remember to keep God first. I guarantee you, you'll be a total success. So until tomorrow at 9 o'clock, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone.
Sonshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.